series from Detroit, Michigan. They expect to play baseball tonight. If and when they do, it'll be Brandon McCarthy for the Yankees. They've won 5 in a row against Rick Porcello of the Detroit Tigers. So the beginning of a 3-game set as the Yankees continue on their road trip. While as we wait for the rain to stop, we will have you enjoy another episode of The Simpsons. Detroit, but the skies have cleared just a bit, and it is time for baseball. As My Nine presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Detroit Tigers in the first of three from Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball. Along with Ken Singleton, I'm Michael Kay. The Yankees have won 5 in a row yesterday in Kansas City. They finally had a rare laugher. They won 8-1.
8-1, and it was one and done for the Yankees. They only played one game with some makeup, and they got the job done behind Michael Pineda, who was excellent on the mound. He worked 6 in the third innings, got 5 strikeouts. We're only going to show you 2 of them, but he allowed just 1 run as the Yankees won the ball game, and they got some good hitting. Every Yankee had at least 1 hit. The 1 hit for Stephen Drew was this home run off James Shields that gave the Yankees the lead at 2-1. Then in the 7th inning, the Yankees broke the game open. They scored 4 times, including this home run by Martin Prado, 397 feet into the seats in left field as the Yankees won, as Michael said, 8-1.
That was last night. Tonight, the pitching matchup brought to you by Warner Brothers Pictures' Dolphin Tale 2 in theaters September 12th. Rick Porcello will get the start for the Tigers, having a very good season. Brandon McCarthy for the Yankees. Now the 8-12, 4.01. That's for the Yankees and the Diamondbacks. But with the Yankees, he's been a different pitcher, Kenny.
He certainly has, including his last start against the Houston Astros on the 21st at Yankee Stadium, an afternoon ball game. He made quick work of the Houston Astros for those who are ready to go out to dinner a little bit later. 2 hours and 7 minutes, fastest game at Yankee Stadium this year. A lot of strikeouts, 8 strikeouts, no walks. A 3-0 shutout victory for the New York Yankees behind Brandon McCarthy.
Look at the numbers as a Yankee. 5-2, a sparkling ERA, 51 strikeouts in 52 innings, just 7 walks. Opponents hitting .252 against him. So all this winning and all the hitting and the 5 games in a row, it's brought the Yankees smack dab in the middle of a wild card race. Also creeping up on the O's. What does this team think about this newfound rush? We'll find out when we return right here on My Nine. Game winning streak has certainly helped the Yankees in the wild card standings. This is for the second wild card. Seattle lost last night to Texas, so the Yankees gained a full game on the Mariners. Yankees 2.5 behind Seattle, and the Tigers are in between the two of them. Yankees 2 behind the Tigers. They start a 3-game set with Detroit tonight. 5-game winning streak make people feel better, and this Yankee team talking as if they've got a pretty good chance.
You're chasing teams. That's the mindset you have to have. You got to go out there every day, and you're chasing somebody.
You got to win the series. It's extremely important. We know they're a very good team, and you're facing a good pitcher tonight that didn't give up too many runs against us the last time, but Brandon pitched really well. So you got to win games.
And I feel like if we keep this attitude all the way to the end, something special might come.
And that guy's been part of something special. That's how good Martin Prado has been. When we come back, lineups, first pitch baseball. Yankees and the Tigers coming up next right here on My Nine. is gone. The cloud with a pretty sunset against the Detroit skyline, and we will have baseball here in Detroit. Jabba Chamberlain is actually taking out the lineup card for Brad Ausmus. He gave a big hug to Tony Pena. And with that beard, you could actually envision Jabba one day as a manager. But he's having a pretty good year with the Tigers. We have to give you something that's going to be an oh wow moment here. Look at the Yankees through 129 games this year and last year. Identical record, almost the identical amount of runs scored. The average not too different. 4 more home runs, and the ERA is practically the same. But last year they were in 4th place. This time they're in 2nd place, 6 games out, and they're 2.5 games out of a wild card. But it's amazing with all the machinations and all the changes that the Yankees have had, that the numbers through 129 games are almost identical.
You know, one thing that hasn't changed from last year to this year, though, Michael, is the fact that a lot of injuries played a part in what's going on with the team. Last year was more or less the position players who suffered the injuries, and this year it's been the pitching staff that suffered the injuries. So maybe that has a lot to do with what happened on the field last year and again in this season.
Well, the Yankees are a different team of late. After they lost those first 2 games to the Astros, you just had a bad feeling about the rest of the year. They had a meeting. Kevin Long, the batting coach, was involved in that meeting. They aired some things out. He gave them some direction. And they've been a different team. They just have a different feel about them, Kenny. And I think that the new additions have helped as well. Prado's done a great job. Headley has been very good defensively. He's gotten some timely hits. And even Stephen Drew has improved defense at second base, a position he'd never played before. So I think all in all, the Yankees are a better team than they were just a week ago.
Yeah, if they can play like they did in last night's ball game in Kansas City, it was a tremendous team victory. I mean, excellent pitching. Michael Pineda has been a welcome addition back off the disabled list. Pitched very well in last night's game, picked up the victory. The Yankees had 13 hits, 8 runs. As I mentioned in the open, every Yankee starter had at least 1 hit in the ball game, and they hit 3 home runs in last night's ball game that really broke things open against a pretty good pitcher in James Shields of the Kansas City Royals to help the Yankees win that ball game 8-1.
And a rare blowout. Usually they have to really have high leverage innings down the stretch. Yesterday, David Huff gave them 2 2/3. The rest of the bullpen was rested, and that is key. All right, we're almost ready for baseball here in Detroit. Why don't we take a look at the New York Yankees starting lineup, which is brought to you by Hyundai. Get special end-of-summer deals at Hyundai's Labor Day week sales drive. Visit buyhyundai.com today. Leading off and playing center field, Jacoby Ellsbury. The DH, the captain, Derek Jeter, bats second. Hitting third, the catcher, Brian McCann. Mark Teixeira's at first base. He'll clean up. The right fielder batting fifth is Carlos Beltran. Martin Prado at second base today. He'll bat sixth. Batting seventh, playing shortstop, Stephen Drew. Chase Headley at third base. He'll bat eighth. And batting ninth and playing left field is Ichiro Suzuki. Now you look at this series. It's important for the Yankees, Kenny. It's also very important for the Tigers. They trail the Kansas City Royals in the Central. This is a team that spent a lot of money, made a big deal to acquire David Price. So there's a lot on the line for them in this series as well.
Yeah, it was interesting, Michael. We were leaving Kansas City last night after beating the Royals, and then when we came here to Detroit today, people were saying thanks for helping us out. When we were leaving Kansas City last night, they were saying you can help us out over the next few days in Detroit.
Well, the Tigers have taken the field, and you see what they're up against. A game and a half, just one game back in the loss column from the Royals. Both of them have fairly easy schedules remaining, although they play each other 6 times, and those could be the 6 deciding games. Well, Rick Porcello's on the mound taking his warm-ups. Why don't we take a look at his numbers?
Well, people will tell you here in Detroit, he's been their best pitcher overall during the course of the season. He's made 25 appearances, 24 of them have been starts, 14-8 record. He has tied his career high in victories. Young man was born in Morristown, New Jersey. You see his ERA, his innings pitched. And let's check out the pitcher scouting report brought to you by the New York Lottery. Hey, you never know. Bad day for the Rays. We're not talking about a day at the beach. We're talking about Porcello's last start against the Tampa Bay Rays. He shut them out on 3 hits. The A's, Rays, and the Rangers are the 3 teams that he has thrown complete game shutouts this year against, and he is the league leader in shutouts this year. And one thing he does, he's not a big-time strikeout pitcher, but he has a solid sinker, gets a lot of ground ball outs. If he has the ground ball working tonight, he can be tough for the Yankees to deal with.
Why don't we take a look at the defense behind Rick Porcello? In the outfield, you've got J.D. Martinez at left, Rajai Davis in center, and Torrey Hunter over at right. Infield, it's Castellanos, Suarez, Kinsler, and Cabrera. That's third to first. Behind the plate is Alex Avila. And on the mound is Kenny Detailed. It's Rick Porcello. Tonight's closed captioning brought to you by the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event, now through September 2nd. See your Lexus dealer. Here's Jacoby Ellsbury. Ellsbury 3 for 5 with a home run and 3 ribbies last night against Kansas City. And how about this stat? That equal his total of hits, homers, and ribbies from his previous 12 road games combined. So the Yankees need him to hit on the road as well as he hits at Yankee Stadium. So Ellsbury is ready. Rick Porcello is ready. And let's do it here in Detroit. Swings at the first pitch and pops it up. Long run for Castellanos, and it's in the stands out of play. New York Yankees baseball is broadcast in Spanish. It's available by hitting the SAP button on your television. SAP is brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. Rain delay officially 1 hour and 8 minutes. 1 hour and 8 minutes of a rain delay. The 0-1. 1-1. James Hoy is the home plate umpire. The crew chief Bob Davidson at first. John Tumpane is the second base umpire, and Bill Welke is over at third. One. There's a strike.
Yeah, Porcello in his career against the Yankees is 3-3, including a loss this year. He lost to the Yankees August 7th, and he pitched very well at Yankee Stadium. 7 innings, 9 hits, 1 run. Well, the Yankees won that game 1-0.
Grounded to second. Kinsler gets Ellsbury 1 away.
Ian Kinsler's had a very good year defensively for the Tigers. He's only made 5 errors.
And a standing ovation for the kid from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Jeter and his family used to make the over 2-hour drive to Tiger Stadium for him to see the Tigers play. So unless these two teams meet in the playoffs, this will be his final series here in Detroit.
Kalamazoo, Matt, what'd you say, 2.5 hours west of Detroit? And of course, Derek is, well, he's played very well against the Tigers in his career. .325 career hitter against Detroit. Showing off for the home folks, so to speak.
And the 1-2. Still 1-2.
Yeah, Porcello with that good sinking fastball. He's trying to run it in on the hands of Jeter during his whole at bat. Here it comes again, and Jeter trying to pull that back elbow in so he can get the barrel of the bat to the ball. He just got a piece of it and fouled it off.
That one is served into right field, a base hit for Jeter. Hunter will cut the ball off, fire into second, and a 1-out single for Derek Jeter.
Yeah, Porcello went to the breaking ball, and instead of trying to run it in on the hands of Jeter, got something that broke towards the middle of the plate. And Jeter just rips it in the right field for a base hit. You saw it was like middle. And Jeter's got many a hits on pitches in that area of the plate.
Jeter has always hit well against the Tigers, Kenny. .325 career average with a .399 on base percentage, and in the postseason a .333 hitter against the Tigers. Here's Brian McCann with the infield shifted over to the right side, and a strike. 3 sellouts expected for these games. So the fans waited through the rain delay, and they have filled this park nicely.
Yeah, the Tigers have sold out 8 of their last 9 home games. Plenty of support for this ball club.
Soft ground ball to the second base side. There's one, and there's 2. So McCann bangs into the double play to end the top of the first. No runs a hit, and nobody left on base. Yankees nothing, and the Tigers coming to bat. BMW.com. BMW, we only make one thing, the ultimate driving machine. Ian Kinsler, the second baseman, will lead off. In right field, it's Torrey Hunter batting second. The number 3 hitter, first baseman Miguel Cabrera. Victor Martinez, the DH, will clean up. Batting fifth, the left fielder J.D. Martinez. Nick Castellanos at third base will bat sixth. Batting seventh and catching Alex Avila. Eugenio Suarez is the shortstop. He's going to bat eighth. And batting ninth and playing center field is Rajai Davis.
Well, Brandon McCarthy on the mound for the Yankees tonight. He, too, like Rick Porcello, coming off a shutout in his last start. A 4-hitter against the Houston Astros. This will be his 27th start overall. These include his numbers with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Certainly much better with the New York Yankees. He's 5-2 with the Yankees with a 1.90 ERA. And let's check out the pitcher scouting report. Brought to you by your Tri-State Ford dealers. He's on a roll. His last 4 starts, 31 strikeouts, just 3 base on balls. A special case season for Brandon McCarthy. Has struck out more batters this year than he has in any other season. And taming the Tigers. The last 3 times he has faced the Detroit Tigers, he's won every single time.
He will face Ian Kinsler now. His wife, who is a presence on Twitter, was complaining about an hour ago. She was in a bar and they could not find the Yankee game. So she was going to storm out and leave. I hope that she's found the game and realized it was a rain delay and that we are on My 9 tonight to watch her husband deliver this pitch. Grounded to third. Chase Headley. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Sounds like something out of Family Feud, doesn't it?
Why don't we check out the defense behind Brandon McCarthy? In the outfield, it's Ichos in left today, Ellsbury in center, and Beltran over in right. In the infield, Headley, Drew, Prado, and Teixeira third to first. McCann behind the plate, McCarthy on the mound. Here's Torrey Hunter. And there's a strike.
Torrey Hunter's batted in various spots in the lineup for the Tigers this year. Tonight he's batting second, which is one of the best spots to have in the Detroit order, just in front of Miguel Cabrera, who's on deck. Hunter's got a 7-game hitting streak going.
Could not hold up on that pitch. Count 0-2.
There are times when you're on somewhat of a hitting streak, you cannot wait to swing the bat. And that's what he's done in his career against McCarthy. So batting in front of Cabrera and doing that well against McCarthy.
Line drive, base hit. So it's an 8-game hitting streak for Hunter that gets past Ichiro, playing off the wall, and Torrey Hunter picks up a double with 1 out.
Well, maybe this is why he's batting second. You can see this pitch kind of stays middle, and it's drifting towards the inner half. And Torrey Hunter quick strokes it. Now with an 8-game hitting streak, that ball just scooting towards the wall. Ichiro runs it down. 2-base hit for Hunter, and he's in scoring position. Here's another look at it. Torrey Hunter, been around a long time, still doing a good job.
Here's Miguel Cabrera. He carries the 6-game hitting streak into this game. Runner at second base. Bottom of the first inning. Swing and a miss. Now, Cabrera doesn't have as many home runs as he usually has, 17. But he does lead the American League in doubles with 40. And that despite the fact he had gone 24 straight games without a double. His ankle's been bothering him a little bit lately. Right ankle has robbed him some of his power.
That's the foot that you would push off on when you try to complete your swing. Tigers leading hitter with runners in scoring position, 345. He's always been very good in that regard.
Yankees took 3 out of 4 from the Tigers at the stadium, and he was just 1 for 10 in that series, so they held him down, which is key. Grounded to third. Headley checks the runner back, fires low, and a backhanded scoop by Teixeira to save an error for Headley and record the second out.
On your third baseman, shortstop, or second baseman, you make a bad throw over to the first baseman, and he just bails you out by coming up with the quick hand or the quick save, if you will. Checking the runner, throw is low, and Teixeira, that was not an easy play. Quick glove hand by the Yankee first baseman saves Chase Headley an error.
And that would be a big error because there's a lot of foul territory here at Comerica Park, so that would score Hunter, not just allow him to move to third.
You know, it's got to be somewhat of a comforting feeling for the Yankee infielders, knowing that you get it somewhere in the vicinity, he's usually going to come up with it.
Here's Victor Martinez. Victor has already matched his career high in home runs with 25. Still a full month to go. He had 25 home runs with the Indians in 2007. He's got 25 homers, 84 ribbies, and a great on-base percentage.
He's having a tremendous year, and I think the fact that he is a designated hitter, it's kind of working against him as far as MVP votes are concerned. He's played a few games at first base, but I don't know. How do you feel about that, Michael? The fact that, he's primarily a DH. I don't know if any DH has really won the MVP. Has that happened before?
Well, if it's close, I think the guy who plays the field every day should have an advantage. But if he's far and away the most valuable player, I don't think you should penalize a guy for a position that exists in baseball.
Yeah, he is second in the league in OPS, on base plus slugging.
One and two.
Yeah, one thing about Victor Martinez, he usually swings and he makes contact. 90% of the pitches that he swings at, he makes some sort of contact, whether he fouls it off or puts it in play. Tough to strike out for somebody who has this much power and has driven in this many runs. He only has 11 more strikeouts than home runs this year. That's amazing. 36 strikeouts, 25 homers.
The 1-2. Foul back. We just found out on Twitter, Kenny, that Amanda McCarthy has in fact found the game and is watching.
Oh, that's great.
So I hope you enjoy, Mrs. McCarthy.
Get a nice tight close-up, John. There we go. Our director, John Moore.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. 95-mile-an-hour fastball, and that'll do it. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left on base. There you go, Mrs. McCarthy. You're watching Yankees baseball. Nothing on the scoreboard, brought to you by Time Warner Cable. Enjoy all the things you love better: TV, internet, and phone from Time Warner Cable. 1-855-WANT-TWC. Mark Teixeira will lead off the second inning, and the Tigers shift as Teixeira bats from the left side. Porcello deals outside. 1-0.
Teixeira missed last night's game. He had a little hamstring issue, but back in there tonight.
1-1.
His hamstrings can be a little tricky. You might want to watch him as he breaks out of the box and see how well he is actually running. You know, it was up to the Yankees, he'd be trotting around the bases.
And the 1-2. Still 1-2.
One thing Porcello has done very well this year, throwing strikes. He very rarely goes to a 3-2 count.
Grounded right side. Kinsler makes the play. One away.
Let's see how Teixeira breaks out of the box. I don't think that's the full gate. I think he's being a little careful. As you might want to do with it. You ever had a bad hamstring, Michael?
No.
Yeah.
Don't run harder. No.
They're no fun. Let's put it that way.
Here's Carlos Beltran. Now you might notice that the center field, from left center field to right center field, is really chewed up out there. And the reason is they just had a concert this past weekend here at Comerica. Eminem and Rihanna. So 2 sold-out shows Friday and Saturday. So the combination of Eminem and Riri tore up the outfield, but still playable.
I bet you they shook the stadium, too.
Bet you they did. And yes, I know Rihanna enough that I can call her Riri.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, I did go to one of her concerts myself.
Did you really?
Yes, I did.
How was that?
It was fantastic. You know, she has a lot of songs that I knew.
Grounded to first. Cabrera will flip to Porcello, and they get Beltran for the second out.
Actually, I took my daughter and about 7 of her friends, and they stood up the whole time. So I stood up too.
Nice.
Yeah, it was cool.
Talking about standing up, Martin Prado has done that since coming to the Yankees. He has been quite an addition both on the field, at several positions, and in the clubhouse. He's a guy you could rally around. He brings an energy to the team. And most importantly, he's been hitting the ball very, very well.
Home run last night in Kansas City, a no-doubter. That was one of the best. I thought that was one of the best games the Yankees played, overall ball games last night. As Michael said, it was kind of a laugher. The Yankees won 8-1. Prado puts a charge into this one. Not quite to the fountains, but certainly deep enough for a home run.
His last 9 games, he's been on fire, hitting .417, 3 homers, 10 ribbies, and 6 doubles. Ooh. And he's played left, right, third, second. He's really done a good job.
He hasn't been stopping at first base very often lately.
One and two on Prado. Lined at Castellanos. And that'll do it in the second as the Yankees go down in order 1-2-3 against Porcello. We go to the bottom of the second. No score. .22, Charlie Sheen is playing doctor. Don't miss the laughs as anger management comes to my 9 7 nights a week. Sure, he's made headlines now. He's a brilliant therapist, and it's time to let the healing begin. Laugh at the advice Charlie dispenses to his patients on anger management. Sunday through Friday at 11 p.m. and Saturday nights at 10 p.m. starting September 22nd on my 9. Very angry Tiger, but he's managing it as we go to the bottom of the second inning. No score. J.D. Martinez will lead off against Brandon McCarthy. And a strike. Time Warner Cable scoreboard. Each team with a hit. Neither team with a run.
J.D. Martinez having a very good year. He's starting to heat up once again. He's got a 4-game hitting streak going. But there are those here in Detroit who feel he's one of the reasons why Victor Martinez is having such a good year. He's batting right behind him. He protects him as Victor Martinez protects Miguel Cabrera ahead of him. And you can see 306, 17 homers, 57 runs batted in. He has been a force in this Tigers lineup.
4 and 5 in the Tiger order is a 2 Martinez bunch.
That's not where you went there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're the one.
Yeah, you just stagger us again.
Turn to a nice night here in Detroit. Starting about 4:30, skies open up, thunder, lightning, heavy rain. But the storms have moved through, and we should have uninterrupted baseball for you here on My 9.
Plus the temperature went down. It's much more comfortable.
J.D. Martinez swings and misses, 3-2. High near 90 today, and right now it's down to 73.
J.D. Martinez had been with the Houston Astros and kind of fell out of favor there, but it was third base coach Dave Clark, who had been the Astros himself.
Line drive, base hit.
Who recommended picking up J.D. Martinez, and he has done an excellent job for these Tigers. So under the recommendation of the now third base coach for the Tigers, Dave Clark, J.D. Martinez finds himself in a Tiger uniform and has a leadoff single here in the second. Dave Clark back in the day used to be a pretty good pinch hitter.
Here's Nick Castellanos. Tigers just came back from Minneapolis, where they split a 4-game set with the Twins. And they're only here for a short time. They play the Yankees these 3 games and then go back on the road. An 8-game trip. 4 in Chicago and 4 in Cleveland.
Now there are those, as far as position players, who feel that if it wasn't for Jose Abreu, that Nick Castellanos would be getting some thought of, a possible thought as Rookie of the Year. But Jose Abreu of Chicago has done such a fantastic job that right now I would say he is the odds-on favorite to win the award.
And I'd say number 2 would be Masahiro Tanaka.
Yeah, if Tanaka had stayed healthy and it continued on the pace he was on, that would have been a heck of a decision for some of the writers around the league as to whether it had been Tanaka or Abreu.
Well, Tanaka might have been in line to win the Cy Young Award.
Yeah,
if he kept pitching.
He was going to come away with something. Let's
Yep.
put it that way.
So a 3-1 count on Castellanos. J.D. Martinez is at first. Three and 2.
Now McCarthy, one of his wins for the Yankees, actually beat the Tigers on August 4th at the stadium. Now, they only went 5 2/3 innings in that game, but he allowed just 5 hits. 1 run was unearned. He had 8 strikeouts in 5 2/3 innings. The Yankees won 2-1.
Runner goes, and it's ball 4. So Castellanos walks. Runners on first and second, nobody out, starting the bottom of the second. Tomorrow night and Thursday afternoon on Yes, the Yankees continue this crucial showdown with the Tigers. Then a reminder that next week, the Red Sox come to the Bronx for a 3-game series on Yes. And after the game next Wednesday night, you can catch an all-new episode of Yankeeography Moments of Glory, featuring the inside story of Aaron Boone's dramatic game-winning home run in the 2003 ALCS. So McCarthy has a little bit of trouble here in the bottom of the second inning. First and second, nobody out, and Alex Avila comes to the plate. High fly ball, center field. Tagging J.D. Martinez. Catch is made by Ellsbury. He'll throw the ball into second, keep the double play in order. So J.D. Martinez advances to third. Castellanos stays at first, and a long out for Avila.
Yeah, long out indeed, and it is a long way to the center field wall here at Comerica Park, 420 feet. There must be something about center field fences here in Detroit, because at Old Tiger Stadium it was 440 to center field. So you really have to have your hitting shoes on, so to speak, to hit one out in center field here.
Here is Eugenio Suarez. And he gets plumped. And that's going to load the bases for Rajai Davis.
Well, not anywhere that Suarez could go. Just took that look that got hit in his tricep. Young rookie shortstop's going to hit down to first base, and now a little bit more hot water for Brandon McCarthy here. Taking one for the club as he heads to first base. The problem here for Brandon McCarthy and the Yankees that Rajai Davis is tough to double up.
Batting ninth, he's been in a little bit of a slump, just 4 hits and 25 at bats. Yankees looking for the hard ground ball. And there's a strike.
Davis has actually grounded into 6 double plays this year, and as Michael said, he probably hit the ball pretty hard at one of the infielders.
Inside, 1-1. Now 1-2.
Well, the optimum for McCarthy would be to get the double play and get out of the inning. But now he's got Davis, or maybe he can put him away with a strikeout and keep that runner at third with 1 out, or make it 2 outs after the punch out.
1-2 pitch. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not, said Bob Davidson.
We're going to get another look here on My 9, and yep, he did hold up and levels the count at 2-2.
And the 2-2. Grounded, foul. This is a big ballpark. We told you there's a lot of room in foul territory. 345 down the left field line. That's a poke just right down the line. 330 down the right field line. And 420 to dead center.
Yeah, this is what you would call a triples ballpark. Former Yankee Curtis Granderson, when he started with the Tigers, a lot of triples.
Just missed, and the count now full at 3-2. Bases loaded. No place to put Davis. This will be the 21st pitch of the inning. It's still just one out. 3-2. He walked him. That forces in a run. 1-0 Tigers. A single, a walk, a hit batter, and a walk.
Larry Rothschild coming out to slow things down for McCarthy here in the second inning. As J.D. Martinez on the leadoff single eventually comes around to score the first run of the ball game.
RBI Baseball is back with all 30 MLB teams and 2014 players. Get the retro 2-button style baseball game you've been missing. Visit RBIGame.com for more details and download today on your console and mobile device. Rothschild done with his conference, and now Ian Kinsler comes up with the bases loaded. Still just one out and one run in. Castellanos at third, Suarez at second, Davis at first. Grounded to Headley. There's one. Across the diamond, and another scoop by Teixeira for the 5-3 inning-ending double play. But the Tigers get a run on one hit, no errors. And because of this double play, 2 men left on base. Teixeira saved Headley, 2 errors, and just saved the Yankees, giving up more runs. Brought to you by Bob's Discount Furniture. Go online to mybobs.com. This is the AL wins leaderboard. Max Scherzer with 15. Rick Porcello has 14, tied with Jared Weaver and Phil Hughes and Scott Kazmir. So Porcello trying to get into a tie with his teammate. And the first pitch to Drew is the strike. So a 5-3 double play ends the threat. And the second bad throw by Headley, who's done a great job at third base for the Yankees, but 2 errant throws, but 2 picks by Teixeira in the first couple of innings.
Sometimes the first baseman will point to his chest. Say, hey, this is where you're supposed to throw it. So far through the first 2 innings, Porcello has the ground ball working. Outside of the base hit by Jeter, everything else has been hit on the ground. We told you he's got a solid sinking fastball. That's his best pitch. He also uses a curve and a change.
Grounded to second. Kinsler gets Drew for the first out. Another ground ball.
Porcello, so he told you he's already tied his career high in wins with 14. He had 14 wins back in 2011. First round pick out of Seton Hall Prep back in '07 by the Detroit Tigers.
Here is Chase Headley, 8th batter in the Yankee lineup, and there's a strike. Well, they keep taking pitches and they keep falling behind Rick Porcello.
Doing his senior year at Seton Hall Prep, Porcello was a first-team All-American, selected by Baseball America. And the Tiger says that's good enough. We'll take him with the first pick that we have. There's that sinking fastball.
Here's his jerseyography. Morristown, New Jersey. That's where he was born. Went to Seton Hall Prep, as Kenny mentioned. Had a perfect game there. And he was the 27th overall pick for Detroit in 2007. Grounded to first. Cabrera with the backhand. And flips to Porcello. Another ground ball, another out.
Yeah, Porcello born in Morristown, but now lives in Califon, New Jersey. As we look at the move by Cabrera. Remember, he's got that sore right ankle. But he's going to make the play to get another ground ball out. And I was reading about Califon, New Jersey today, Michael. And originally they were going to call it California, New Jersey. But they couldn't get the name California on the welcome sign, so they shortened it to Califon.
Really?
I read that.
They couldn't just make the font smaller?
Well, I don't know. That's what I read.
Ichiro fouls it off.
It still has a ring to it, though.
Califon.
Yeah.
One 0 Tigers are in the top of the 3rd inning. Porcello has faced the minimum amount of batters through 2 2/3 innings. Jeter did get a hit in the 1st inning, was quickly erased on a double play off the bat of Brian McCann. Davis in extraordinarily shallow center field. That one is chopped up the middle. Grabbed there by Suarez, but not in time. An infield single for Ichiro.
This is a staple for Ichiro over his career, the high chopper. And then the speed down the line as Suarez made a good play. But this is Ichiro's bread and butter. Infield single, and he's on with 2 outs.
Ichiro's been hitting lately, 15 for his last 37 with that single.
Hey, we mentioned last night he had tied Hank Aaron on the all-time singles list. He just passed him. Somehow, Hank Aaron and singles just don't seem to go together.
Jacoby Ellsbury takes a strike. Porcello, 9 of 10 first pitch strikes.
So Ichiro now 2,295 singles.
Got the fastball by him, 0-2. Ellsbury grounded to second in the 1st. Good numbers against Porcello, 8 for 14. 2 of the 8 had left the yard.
He showed the numbers, Ellsbury against Porcello, and I bet you both of them are aware of the fact. They might not know the exact numbers, but I can tell you that Ellsbury probably knows I've hit this well and hit this guy pretty well in the past. And Porcello would say, You know, this guy's done some damage in the past. I'm not exactly sure, but I think he's hit a couple of home runs.
The 0-2. There's a base hit to right field. Ichiro will stop at second. Back-to-back, 2-out singles, and the Yankees have a runner in scoring position for Derek Jeter.
So those numbers improve for Ellsbury against Rick Porcello. The hole at first base is an opportunity for a left-handed hitter, and Ellsbury doesn't let it pass.
Well, there is a connection between Jeter and the Tigers. We told you used to come here as a kid, or Tiger Stadium. Grew up in Kalamazoo. And most people know this story. Former Tigers Hall of Fame pitcher and then Astros scout Hal Newhouser told the Astros front office that no one is worth $1 million. But if one kid is worth that, it's this kid. And the Astros did not draft Jeter, and Hal Newhouser quickly retired right after the draft because they would not listen to him.
I think they took Phil Nevin.
Yep.
Yeah, who turned out to be a major leaguer, but certainly did not have the career that Derek Jeter had. Hal Newhouser twice was the MVP for the Tigers. Prince Hal.
The TNT pitching staff: Trucks, Newhouser, and Trout. The 1-0. 1-1. Those are the first 6 picks of the 96 draft, and of the 92, I'm sorry, the first 6 picks of 92. Nevin, Shuey, Wallace, Hammonds, and Mottola will always be known as the guys that got picked before Derek Jeter. One and two. Two.
Porcello consistently keeping that fastball down. Now he went to a secondary pitch the first time against Jeter. Jeter had 2 strikes and he got a hit. Let's see if he stays with the fastball this time. Well, the signs are all convoluted because there's a man on second base.
2-2. Strike 3. Jeter down looking. And he kind of looks at James Hoy and has a calm conversation with him. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 left. We go to the bottom of the third. 1-0 Tigers. The all-important out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by your Tri-State Kia retailers. To learn more, visit TriStateKiaDealers.com. So Derek Jeter strikes out looking with runners on first and second for the final out of the top of the third. Baltimore leads Tampa Bay 2-1. Top of the fifth inning. Boston and Toronto tied at 3, bottom of the fifth. Minnesota and Kansas City, 0-0, top 4. Cleveland still on the outskirts of this 4-2, top of the third over the White Sox. And that's going to bring up Torrey Hunter. And a strike as we start the bottom of the third. It is 1-0, Tigers over the Yankees. First game of a 3-game set. Hunter double to left, his first time up. 0-2.
Hunter, of course, a veteran player, and the Tigers, several veterans on their ball club, but Hunter is looked upon as one of the leaders of the team.
And the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Hunter down on strikes.
Second strikeout for McCarthy. Good breaking ball to the outside corner. This one just spun away from the bat. Looks hittable, but then it's not. Sharp break on a curveball.
Tomorrow night, the Yankees will face David Price. He'll go up against Shane Green. Tonight, David Price celebrating his 29th birthday. Pitch outside. Price returned to Tampa Bay. Pitched a one-hitter and lost 1-0. Drive to left field, and it's going to be over the head of Suzuki and up against the wall. He'll play it out there as Cabrera has a double and a 7-game hitting streak.
That's going to be his league-leading 41st double of the year and a line drive over the head of Ichiro Suzuki in right field. Quick stroke. Well, Yankee fans have seen enough of this swing over the years. And when you watch him run, you can see he's got a little issue with that right ankle. And he's in with a 2-base hit. There are those who are saying he's not having the year he had the last couple of years when he was the MVP. But 41 doubles leads the pack in the American League. And only 2 players have more extra base hits than him. Mike Trout and Jose Abreu.
Victor Martinez. Ground ball to first. Teixeira will take it himself. Steps on the bag for the second out as Cabrera advances the third. So two-way, and that'll bring up J.D. Martinez. And a strike.
Well, last night in Kansas City, the Yankees made the Royals look a little flat. This is a fastball to the outside corner. Good movement, and it swings back over the outside corner. Sometimes right-handed hitters give up on it. They think it's going to be outside, and then that little movement right at the end, tails to the corner for a strike.
Ground ball and past the diving Drew into left field. It's an RBI single for J.D. Martinez. Cabrera scores. It's 2-0 Tigers.
Well, Martinez has now scored a run and driven in a run. We told you he's been heating up, 5-game hitting streak. He drives home Cabrera with the second run for the Tigers. We were talking about the Tigers and the Royals. They have 6 games. 3 games in Detroit, 3 games in Kansas City. Those 6 might determine who wins the Central Division. There's the headlong dive by Drew, just out of his reach. And J.D. Martinez now 2 for 2 on the night.
Two runs on 4 hits for the Tigers. No runs, 3 hits for the Yankees. Tigers with a run in the second and 1 here in the third. 44 pitches for Brandon McCarthy. And there's a strike. Well, since July 22nd, the Tigers were first in the American League Central, but they're 15-18 since then. And they trail KC by a game and a half. They led the division on July 22nd. And KC was in third place. So KC 24-8 since that time. They made up 8.5 games in that time.
Wow.
Far from over, though, when they have 6 games remaining, as Kenny said.
Yeah, that's true. One thing about the Tigers, they can score runs. They've scored the 3rd most runs in the league. Oakland and the Angels have scored more.
Fly ball down the right field line. Beltran makes the play in foul territory to retire Castellanos, and that'll do it here in the third. But the Tigers get a run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. Let's go to the fourth. 2-0 Detroit. The trivia question. Toyota, the annual clearance event is going on now. Toyota, let's go places. Rick Porcello has 75 career wins, 16th most among players born in New Jersey. Who has the most?
Ooh, good question.
Little known fact, Cy Young was born in New Jersey. People don't realize that. Totally made that up, Ken. That would have been an easy answer. Here's Brian McCann. As we start the 4th inning, it's 2-0 Tigers. The shift is on for McCann.
I was going to ask what town.
3-0 on McCann.
There's some people in Ohio not happy with you, Michael.
Especially in Gilmore, where Cy was born.
That's right. And you know, they don't like you mentioning Ohio State around here anyway. The Ohio State, yeah.
Boy, you open up the Detroit papers today, and it's like the Tigers don't exist. It's Michigan and Michigan State football. The 3-1. Lined into right center field. That's going to be a base hit. Cutting over is Davis, and there's a single to start off the fourth by Brian McCann.
And Big Blue. They love you blue in this state. And of course, Michigan State. Big time rivalry between the two schools.
Here's Mark Teixeira. Shift is still on. High fly ball, left center. Deep. Martinez called off by Davis, who makes the play in deep left center for the first out.
Yeah, that ball had plenty of hang time for Davis to run underneath it. He was playing over towards right center. And that ball almost got to the warning track in left center field. Look at it, the flag, and the wind is actually blowing from right to left. Might have got a bit of a boost as Davis runs it down. That was more of a line drive. That would have found the gap. Of course, the Tigers traded. Part of the trade was Austin Jackson going to Seattle when they got David Price. And there are those who say they miss Austin Jackson's defense.
That one is lined into right field. It is a base hit in front of Hunter. Tried to deke out McCann, but McCann would have only gotten to second anyway. So a single for Carlos Beltran. And the Yankees have 3 hard hit balls in this inning, first and second with 1 man out.
Yeah, 3 balls hit in the air after not getting one in the air through the first 3 innings against Porcello.
That's going to bring up Prado. Strides to the plate, looking at third base coach Rob Thompson. Prado with the ground ball to third in the second. Porcello deals. And a strike.
Maybe Porcello does not get the notoriety that some of the other starters in the Tiger rotation get. Of course, he hasn't won a Cy Young like Max Scherzer or David Price or Justin Verlander. But as I mentioned before, well, Price is a recent arrival, so he doesn't really count in this equation. But the other two, they said Porcello's kind of outpitched both of them. Verlander's rolling along with an ERA over 4.7. The Yankees will see him in the final game of this series. They see David Price tomorrow night.
Hammered foul.
And for the Tigers, it's a lot about their success is about their starting pitching, because their bullpen has frankly not been very good this year. And sometimes their defense has not been very good. They can hit, and they can they have starting pitching. His first-year manager Brad Ausmus. The Tigers were leading the division most of the year until the Kansas City Royals caught on fire.
The 1-2 to Prado. Chopped to second. This could be 2. There's 1. On to first. Not in time. He beat it out. So a 4-6 force for the second out. Runners on first and third.
As we watch Martin Prado play, we can see more and more he can do some things. And one of them, pick him up and lay him down. That was a close play at first base. And he is called safe by Bob Davidson. Another look. Ooh. I don't know if the Tigers going to challenge here.
Looked like Brad Ausmus was up on one step of the dugout, then went back down.
Porcello
he was out of it.
Yeah, he thought the inning was over. He does get a lot of double play ground balls. We get another look. Is the ball in the glove?
Oh, man.
Oh, man, that
is close.
Yeah, maybe that's why he didn't challenge.
So big spot here for Stephen Drew. Runners on first and third with 2 outs. 2-0 Tigers. Top of the 4th inning. Popped up. Left field. J.D. Martinez there and makes the play for the final out of the 4th. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. 2-0 Tigers. Your take brought to you by the Dodge Summer Clearance Event. With the Yankees retiring so many players' uniform numbers, what should the team do when they run low? Is it A, use 3 digits, B, use letters, C, use numbers and letters, D, just use last names? Text A, B, C, or D to 70377 or go to my9nj.com. Find out the results later in the game wrap-up. It's What's Your Take, brought to you by the Dodge Summer Clearance Event. Well, that's probably the next number to go, number 2.
And that'll be it. 0's not a number, is it?
I've always been told it was not a number.
I don't think so either.
But people do wear 0. 2-0. Tigers over the Yankees as Alex Avila leads off against Brandon McCarthy. Swings at the first pitch and grounds it to Prado. 1 pitch, 1 out. Ty Cobb didn't have a number back then.
The players didn't wear numbers back then.
Let's take a look at the answer to the Toyota trivia question. Rick Porcello has 75 career wins, 16th most among players born in Jersey. Who has the most? Can we guess our buddy?
Yeah, I was going to guess Al Leiter. I was going to guess Al.
Alois Terry Leiter. How about that?
All right.
Oh, yeah. Down the shore, everything's all right.
You can call me Al.
Here's Suarez. I'll still work for us, Kenny. I've heard he got a slew of games in September.
You miss him, don't you?
All the time.
Yeah, we do. I actually talked to Al the other day.
Why?
Well, he called me up. He left me a message. I had to call him back.
Everything all right?
Yeah, fine.
Strike to Suarez. Swing and a miss. Suarez down on strikes. 2 away.
Nasty curveball. These are the type of pitches that gives hitters nightmares. Drop it. Looked like it was in the zone and drops straight into the dirt. Suarez chases. And that is strike 3.
Here's Davis. He walked with the bases loaded in the 2nd inning, picked up a ribby. One and 0. Count 1-1.
McCarthy trying to have his first 1-2-3 inning of the night. And you see a pitch count up at 55. A couple innings like that, he'll be back on track as far as pitch count is concerned.
Two. High fly ball, center field drifting back Ellsbury, and a 1-2-3 inning for Brandon McCarthy, retiring the Tigers in order. We go to the 5th. It's 2-0 Detroit. Part by ShopRite. We're all about food. We're all about savings. We're all about you. Go back to 1966. Mickey Mantle delivers a 2-run pinch hit walk-off home run off Tigers' Hank Aguirre to give the Yankees a 6-5 win over Detroit. Chase Headley takes low. It's 2-0 on the scoreboard, brought to you by your Tri-State BMW Centers. Visit us at tristatebmw.com. BMW, we only make one thing, the ultimate driving machine.
There were people who would tell you back in the 50s and 60s that Mickey Mantle was the ultimate driving machine. Some very long drives.
Fly ball, shallow center. Davis got a late jump, but runs it down. One away here in the 5th. So the Yankees been lifting the ball more against Porcello. They threatened in the 4th, but couldn't push a run across. They're trailing 2-0. Porcello pitches to an ERA of 3.10. Ichiro with an infield single behind second base in the 3rd inning. Fielded by Suarez, could not get him at first. Count 0-1.
That was the signature slash and dash by Ichiro.
Oh, 2.
Porcello throwing a lot of first pitch strikes. Twelve of 17 thus far.
Wow. 45 strikes, 16 balls. $17 balls, 1-2 on Ichiro.
Yeah, that was just one to put up in Ichiro's eyes, see if he would chase it. Actually, he's got another pitch to play with here if he wants to get him to chase a pitch out of the zone.
Soft ground ball to second. Kinsler. 2 outs. Hey fans, tell us about your love for the Bombers. Post your thoughts to Facebook or Twitter using the hashtag #My9Yankees, and your words could end up on the big screen in Times Square. Plus, you can also check out an updated photo gallery right now on our Facebook page to see some of your posts we put up in lights. So follow us on Twitter at My9NJ or like us on Facebook at My9TV, and you can see your post at the crossroads of the world. 2 down, top of the lineup now, and Jacoby Ellsbury, who is 1 for 2. That one is driven to right field and deep. Going back, Hunter, looking up, see ya! A long home run for Jacoby Ellsbury. The Yankees are on the board. It's 2-1 Tigers.
Ellsbury now with 4 hits in his last 5 at-bats, including 2 home runs. I don't think that was a signature sinking fastball. No. Some other spin on it. And this was up in the zone, and you saw Porcello. He knew that this ball was headed for the seats. As Torrey Hunter gives it the last look, as it becomes a souvenir.
Here's Derek Jeter. Home run number 12, team leading RBI number 59 for Ellsbury. And the 1-0. Right back to Porcello. So he gets Jeter, and that will do it. But the Yankees get on the board. A long home run for Jacoby Ellsbury at the end of 4.5. We're halfway through. 2-1 Tigers. Kansas City Royals. The first 18,000 guests in attendance are going to receive a Yankees t-shirt courtesy of Sato. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees Clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Well, the Yankees get one on the board with the long home run by Jacoby Ellsbury. There's Jacoby as it's a 2-1 Tiger lead as we go to the bottom of the fifth and the top of the Tiger order against Brandon McCarthy. Ian Kinsler will start it off. Pitch outside, 1-0. Kinsler with a ground ball to third in the first, and then a ground ball to third that was turned into a 5-3 double play in the second. BMW scoreboard, Tigers 2, Yankees 1.
Kinsler having a pretty good first year here with the Detroit Tigers. He's up there in hits, started the night fourth in the American League in hits, and tied for third with runs scored. Initially, he was not happy when he got traded to Detroit. I mean, had some derogatory remarks about the Texas Rangers, but it seems to be all cooled down, and he's having a good year here with the Detroit Tigers. And Texas is rolling around in the cellar in the West.
And it wasn't so much he was unhappy coming to the Tigers. He was just unhappy that the Rangers traded him.
Yeah.
Now, boy, the way the trade has worked out, the Rangers are probably unhappy as well. Prince Fielder had a neck injury, had to have surgery. The team has been besieged by injuries, sitting at the bottom of the American League West, and Kinsler has a chance to go to the postseason. Ooh, he swings and misses for the first out.
Yeah, we've seen Porcello use this pitch to his advantage tonight. You saw him get Derek Jeter out with it on that little bouncer back to the box. But this is that sinking fastball that runs in on the hands of a right-handed hitter. And you can see can't get the barrel to it and over the top because it's sinking. And that is the fourth strikeout for Brandon McCarthy tonight. All four of them swinging.
Here's Torrey Hunter. He doubled in the first to extend his hitting streak to 8, and then he struck out in the third.
See, fastballs aren't as much about speed, because if you throw it directly and it doesn't have much movement and throw it hard, hitters can still hit it. Because when they swing the bat, the ball is true. And if they rely on their hand-eye coordination of big league hitters, which is very good, they usually hit the ball hard.
Ground ball to Prado for the second out.
But the movement of the fastball takes it away from the plane where the hitters are going to swing the bat. And sometimes you swing over the top, or you top it all together and get ground ball outs. And when you can combine both of those factors, speed and movement, you've got yourself a real fastball.
Here's Miguel Cabrera, grounded to third in the first and then doubled and scored in the third. The double extended his hitting streak to 7 straight. A lot of hitting streaks in this Tiger lineup. 2-1 they lead, bottom of the fifth inning. Oh, 0-1. In 50 games career for Cabrera against the Yankees, 18 homers, 45 ribbies, and a .358 average. The Yankees should not feel picked upon, though. He hits everybody pretty well.
Yep.
Maybe not that well.
When you're the reigning two-time MVP, you've done some damage against most of the teams. Very quick inside, makes the adjustments well, hits the ball well to the opposite field, has power to leave any part of the ballpark.
Line drive caught by Chase Headley to complete a 1-2-3 inning. So Cabrera bidding for another double. Got it taken away by a quick fielding Chase Headley. Quick to the backhand side. We're quick to the 6th inning. 2-1 Tigers. Baseball on My 9 is brought to you in part by the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event now through September 2nd. See your Lexus dealer. By Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin'. And by the New York Lottery. Hey, you never know. It's turned into a nice night here in Detroit. Game was delayed by rain, an hour and 8 minutes. Here we are in the 6th inning. It's 2-1 Tigers. Brian McCann leads off against Rick Porcello, who starts him off with a strike. And the 0-1. 0-2. McCann wrapped into a double play in the first and then singled to right center in the fourth. McCann, Teixeira, and Beltran against the Tiger right-hander. High fastball, 1-2.
We talked about McCann with the Yankee Stadium stroke. 13 of his 15 home runs have been at Yankee Stadium.
Swing and a miss. McCann down on strikes.
And he's the first Yankee to do that out of his first 15 home runs. Remember OG, Oscar Gamble? This good breaking ball. Drops out of the zone. McCann chases it for strike 3.
Here's Mark Teixeira. And there's the first pitch strike. Teixeira hit a deep fly ball to left center. In the fourth inning, it was run down by Rajai Davis. Line drive right at Castellanos, I believe that's the third baseman out there, so you score that as a 5.
He's not going to move. He's going to stay over there with Beltran coming up. Once again, the shift pays off for a defense.
Here's Carlos Beltran.
All the shifting that you see in sports and basketball, you see double teams every once in a while. You see in football where the defense kind of shades to one side of the field when the other team has a big receiver. This is what you get in baseball. You got a pull hitter.
And that's how you get rid of those shifts. Go the other way. Certainly not enough people do it, and that's why they continue to shift. But Beltran, a shift-busting single with 2 outs.
And his second hit of the game. Suarez, the only fielder on the left side, he had no chance.
So here is Martin Prado with Beltran at first. Missed outside, 1-0. He's in pretty good shape pitch count wise. 75 pitches. You'd like to get into the Tiger bullpen, as Kenny mentioned, because that is not a strength for them. 1-0. Grounded to short. Suarez will go the short way, and that will do it here in the 6th. No runs a hit, and 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 2-1 Tigers. Tigers lead 2-1, bottom of the 6th inning. And as we move along here in the bottom of the inning, the out-of-town scoreboard will appear on the bottom of your screen, brought to you by GMC. Visit tristategmc.com for great lease offers. It'll be 4, 5, and 6 in the Tigers' order against Brandon McCarthy. A run in the second, a run in the third against McCarthy. So far, that's been enough as the Tigers lead this one 2-1. Victor Martinez starts it off. He's 0 for 2. Fouled away.
And McCarthy actually struck out Martinez swinging in the first inning. And Victor Martinez, the toughest hitter in the league to strike out. Once every 14 times, he goes out on strikes. And this is for a guy who's hit 25 home runs and driven in 84 runs.
Going to be an interesting decision for the Tigers. He's a free agent. And he is pretty much just a DH. So what do you do? Do you re-sign him? He's going to probably command pretty big bucks because of the season that he's having.
Tigers have a number of decisions to make, don't they? Max Scherzer?
Yep.
Yeah, you're thinking about what he's done this year. He's leading the team in home runs, Victor Martinez. But I think more importantly, there's the general manager of the Detroit Tigers, Dave Dombrowski, one of the better GMs in the game. And he's not afraid to make moves and not afraid to keep players. I mean, when you think about Victor Martinez, what does he mean to the Tigers? He's a protection for Miguel Cabrera.
Well, he'll be 36 in December. So what kind of contract do you give him? Dombrowski wasn't afraid, though, to extend Miguel Cabrera's deal till he's 42. But at some point in that deal, do you expect Cabrera to be a DH? So that's some of the decisions they have to make, although Martinez is very, very important in that clubhouse as well. They also traded for Price, and he's a free agent after 2015. So by getting Price, did they hedge their bet on Scherzer? Ground ball and through for a base hit. He found a hole in the shift. So a leadoff single for Victor Martinez.
Started the ninth, second in the American League in hitting to Jose Altuve of the Houston Astros, and it's going to boost the average a bit. Not much. I mean, he was hitting .328 to start the night. He's 1 for 3 tonight. There's Prado with the effort, but on by him and in the right field.
Here's J.D. Martinez. He's hurt the Yankees tonight, scored a run and drove in a run, so he's 2 for 2. That one is driven deep to left field. That ball is off the base of the wall. Ichiro plays it, fires into second, and J.D. Martinez has a double as Victor Martinez stops at third.
I'll tell you what, J.D. Martinez has been tough on the McCarthy tonight. He's now 3 for 3, 2 singles in this booming double, and that pitch is right there. Quick through the zone with the barrel of the bat. And a line drive that didn't miss by much at going out of here at Comerica Park. Falls at the base of the wall. And the Tigers are in business here in the 6th inning.
Well, with runners on second and third, the Yankees are going to be reluctant to bring the infield in because if one squeezes through, that could be 2 runs. So they're going to hedge their bet and go halfway because Victor Martinez does not have great speed at third. Nick Castellanos at the plate. 0-1.
Here is the last hit off the bat of J.D. Martinez. Wow.
Waggled, but it didn't break.
Yeah. Bats do vibrate.
That one is lined into center field. It is a base hit. Victor Martinez scores. They will hold up J.D. Martinez. The throw cut off by Teixeira. It's an RBI single for Castellanos, and it's 3-1 Tigers.
Yeah, the rookie third baseman now with his 55th run batted in of the year. He kind of fights this one off, but inside out swing, drops it into center field in front of Ellsbury for the hit. And now the Tigers have a run in and runners at first and third, still nobody out.
Here is Alex Avila. And the pitch outside. No action in either bullpen. Surprised that the Yankees don't have someone up. 76 pitches for McCarthy. It's going to be a double play, but it's going to be another run. 4-6-3, and it's 4-1 Tigers. So no RBI for Avila, but J.D. Martinez does score on the DP.
Yeah, he did hit that one hard, but right at Prado. Turned it over for the easy 4-6-3 double play.
Now Esmail Rogers is up. And here's Eugenio Suarez. And a strike.
Yeah, the Tigers are. Tiger fans are thinking, can we win with a rookie shortstop? And this young man, he doesn't seem to be overwhelmed. Hitting a respectable 263.
And Suarez down on strikes. 2 runs, 3 hits, and nobody left on base. 4-1 Tigers lead as we go to the 7th. On television, and on October 1st, The Walking Dead is coming to My 9. Join the group of post-apocalyptic survivors as they try to stay one step ahead of the walkers in a struggle to rebuild their lives. Whether you've seen it before or want to get in on the hype, now's your chance to relive it all from the very beginning. Back-to-back episodes of The Walking Dead Wednesday nights, premiering October 1st at 8 here on My 9. Yankees down 4-1 as we start the 7th inning. Stephen Drew will start it off. It'll be the bottom third of the Yankee order. Drew, Headley, and Ichiro against Porcello, who's pitched very well. Popped up behind the plate and out of play. Four 7-0 for the Tigers, 1-7-0 for the Yankees. On the scoreboard, brought to you by Airbnb. The 1-1, 2-1. Yankees have left 5 runners on base tonight. The Tigers 4. The Yankees only run a home run by Jacoby Ellsbury with 2 outs in the 5th. High fly ball, left center. Rajay Davis the call on the catch. 1 down. Here's Chase Headley. He's 0 for 2 against Porcello.
You know, it's interesting to watch the ebb and flow for players during the course of the season. And Rick Porcello, we told you he's coming off a shutout in his last start. 3-hitter against the Tampa Bay Rays. But before that, he had lost 3 decisions in a row. So now it appears he's getting back on track. And in one of those games against Toronto, it only lasted 2 innings. In fact, I think that was the game in which he came in relief. That was that 19-inning game. And he took the loss. And if I'm not mistaken, that was like a 6-hour ball game.
The 0-2. Fouled away.
What would you call him, Michael? Very unmanageable, huh?
Extremely. But you do make concessions for extra innings.
Yeah.
So that might not be that unmanageable for an extra inning game.
Yeah, it's bonus canto.
Yeah, free baseball. The 1-2. Grounded to second. Kinsler makes the play for the second out here in the 7th. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees.
Kinsler's been a busy man out at second base tonight. And from my count, he's got 8 assists and 1 putout. Porcello dealing out the ground balls.
Ichiro takes inside. 1 for 2, Ichiro against Porcello. Infield single up the middle in the 3rd, and then grounded to Kinsler in the 5th.
I think that's 7 assists and 1 put out. Infielders know which pitchers are the ground ball pitchers.
Popped up. A long run for everyone, but it'll make the seats.
Think about the Tigers staff, Porcello certainly gives a different look. Most of the other pitchers are power pitchers.
Grounded up the middle. Diving stop by Kinsler. Throw to first. Got him. Beautiful play on both ends to get Ichiro. Took a base hit away. What a play by Ian Kinsler. And a nice backhanded scoop by Miguel Cabrera. Ticking it up the middle. Kinsler had other ideas. Makes the dive. Gets to his feet and then fires with the scoop by Cabrera. Time for the 7th inning stretch in Detroit. Time for the Tigers in-game box score, brought to you by Mazda. Conviction, creativity, courage. This is the Mazda way. How about J.D. Martinez haunting Brandon McCarthy? 3 for 3, a double, a ribby, 2 runs scored. Castellanos with a ribby. Rajai Davis with 1 as well. And Davis will lead off here in the 7th against Brandon McCarthy. Davis walked with the bases loaded in the 2nd to pick up the ribby, and then a fly ball to center. Line drive, left field, base hit. He makes a big turn at first. He's going for 2. Here's the throw. He's safe. Double. Now immediately Prado pointed to the Yankee dugout, and here comes Joe Girardi. So Joe will make his way out to talk with John Tumpane, the second base umpire, and also give his crew time to look at the replay.
Yeah, a strong throw by Ichiro. There's a hustle. And I don't know. I don't see much of an argument there. Does he come off the bag?
I think he's safe.
Yeah, I think he is too. We get another look from another angle. The throw is there, and Davis going on the other side of the bag. It looks like he's in there safely. Does he stay on the base? Barely, by his fingertips. Oh, this might be the definitive angle here, though. Oh, the umpire's in the way.
Well, they do not have any angle that would tell Joe to challenge, so he goes back to the dugout. That looks like the definitive angle.
Yeah, he definitely, his hand got in before any sort of a tag. In the side door, safe with a double.
Here's Ian Kinsler, whose play in the top of the 7th ended the inning. Kinsler 0 for 3 tonight, but he's certainly done the job defensively. You see the Airbnb scoreboard, 4-1 Tigers, and they're looking for more here in the bottom of the 7th.
You're going to have to check Davis. He's among the league leaders in steals, 3rd, and his next stolen base will be number 300 in his career.
Rogers continues to throw.
I don't think Davis is apt to steal third base with Kinsler at the plate. Now, with 1 out, I think he becomes even more dangerous to take off for third, trying to get there with 1 out. But right now, he's going to let Kinsler attempt to either drive him in or move him over to third base himself.
Chop toward third. That'll get the runner over as Headley makes the throw to Teixeira. Well, definitely a different feel to this team this year with the speed that they've added. Last year, the Tigers had just 35 stolen bases total. So a dimension of speed added.
Yeah, they were more of a sit back and wait type offense. You know, you had Cabrera hitting a lot of home runs and Victor Martinez doing the job as well. This year, speed has been added to the mix.
Yankees have to bring the infield in for Torrey Hunter. Hunter is 1 for 3. Davis leads off third. Line drive, base hit, an RBI single for Hunter as Davis scores. It's 5-1 Tigers.
Well, we told you the Tigers can score runs. They are 3rd in the league, and that base hit by Torrey Hunter appears to have knocked out Brandon McCarthy from this ball game.
Now, he didn't get knocked around, but this was probably his worst performance as a Yankee, so he departs and he trails 5-1. In 4G LTE, America's largest 4G LTE network. So Brandon McCarthy is done, and the Yankees call on Esmil Rogers.
1 start this year for Rogers. And his record 2-0, kind of an elevated ERA, more than a hit per inning. And 34 strikeouts in 33 2/3 innings. Shows you he has a good arm. And the first batter he's going to face is Miguel Cabrera, which is an unenviable task. As you look at the numbers from Brandon McCarthy, Michael said, didn't really get hit around that hard. The Tigers are the best hitting team in terms of batting average in the American League. They've got a number of guys, if you make mistakes, they're going to hit the ball hard.
So Rogers is ready, and that will bring up Miguel Cabrera. Cabrera is 1-4-3. Yankees trail 5-1. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Oh and 1.
Rogers showing a little bit of that strong arm fastball that Cabrera was late on, 94 miles an hour. Michael, in this day and age, you don't see many soft tossers coming out of the bullpen. It used to be pitchers sinker slider, trying to get ground balls, and everybody's trying to blaze that fastball by you. .95 from Rogers. This is going to get a piece of Cabrera. See that fastball just run it in, and all he can do is top it, and there's no pain like self-inflicted pain. Ugh. Like dropping a brick on your foot.
Snap throw to first. Hunter dives back. He strikes him out, tipped into the glove of McCann. Second out.
Yeah, another 95-mile-an-hour fastball from Rogers. About belt high, just got a piece of it into the glove of Brian McCann for the second out of the inning. And he has Cabrera talking to himself. Usually he's saying, if he's talking to himself, he says, good job. But I don't think he's saying that now.
Here's Victor Martinez, started that 2-run rally in the 6th with a single to right field. Paying a lot of attention to Torrey Hunter.
Torrey Hunter's big-time stolen base days are over with. He's got 4 this year. Been caught 3 times. The real speed in Hunter's family now belongs to Torrey Jr., who's a football player at University of Notre Dame, although he's out 4 to 6 weeks with a torn groin muscle. But the Fighting Irish hope to have him back and contributing to the efforts soon.
The 1-0. 2-0. Victor struck out in the 1st, grounded to first in the 3rd, and singled to right, and came around to score in the 6th. A 11 hits in his last 31 at bats, hitting .328. Nice year to have a career year when you're in the final year of your contract. The 2-0. High fly ball, right field. Beltran is there. He makes the play for the final out of the inning. But the Tigers get another run on 2 hits and 1 man left. We'll go to the 8th. It's 5-1 Detroit. We'll take a look at the Yankees in-game box score brought to you by Mazda. Conviction, creativity, courage. This is the Mazda way. We highlight Jacoby Ellsbury because that essentially is the Yankee offense. 2 for 3, a home run, and the Yankees have just 1 run in this game. Jeter singled, McCann singled, Carlos Beltran has 2 singles, Ichiro with an infield single, but only 1 run pushed across. That came in the 5th inning on Ellsbury's long home run to right field. Well, Yankees running out of outs, 6 more to go, top of the order, and it'll be Ellsbury against Porcello, who now has a 5-1 lead. And a strike. High drive, right field. He might have gotten another one. Going back, Hunter looking up. See ya! A home run for Ellsbury. The Yankees' 2nd run. His 2nd home run. It's 5-2 Tigers.
Well, we showed a graphic earlier of the numbers that Ellsbury has put up against Rick Porcello in the past. They continue to improve. He's 3 for 4 tonight with a couple of home runs, a couple of no-doubters. Man, is he locked in. Three of his last 5 hits have been home runs.
Here's Derek Jeter. Derek is 1 for 3 tonight. 5-2 Tigers. Count 1-0.
Here's another look, and man, Porcello with that same sort of look he had the last time up. But Ellsbury took him deep in the 5th inning.
1-1 to Jeter.
Man. Torrey Hunter. Courtesy chase.
One and 2.
We were talking about Phil Nevin being drafted first that year by the year that Jeter was drafted. Nevin was drafted by Houston, but actually played a couple of years for the Tigers. And back in 1997, Nevin, the day after the Detroit Red Wings won the Stanley Cup, Nevin broke up a no-hitter by Randy Johnson in the 8th inning.
Fielded by Kinsler. He can't make the play, and Jeter has an infield single.
So Jeter with his second hit of the game. And let's see, Tiger bullpen's heating up. Kinsler knew he had to hustle, and he couldn't transfer from glove to hand. And Jeter has his second hit.
And that's going to warrant a mound visit. Jeff Jones comes out and talks with Rick Porcello. Yankees want to get into that bullpen. Porcello with 96 pitches, nobody out here in the 8th inning. Jones has his say. Porcello stays in.
Jabba Chamberlain and Blaine Hardy. Now, these days, there's no mistaking Jabba.
Brian McCann 1 for 3 tonight. Porcello deals. Pitch outside, 1-0. So Jacoby Ellsbury, 3 more hits tonight, 2 home runs. He's the Yankee offense. It's his 5th career multi-home run game. And the count 2-0 on McCann.
Yeah, the key here for Porcello is now the Tigers going to the shift.
It's like they forgot.
Castellano now drifting across the field. Let's see how deep he actually goes. He's not going to go quite as deep because it's a double play situation.
Maybe they thought if they shifted earlier that McCann down 3 would have gone the other way. Now at 2-0, he's going to look to pull it.
Ooh.
And he tried to push the bunt. Good thought.
Good thought, because if he gets on, it brings a tying run to the plate in the person of Mark Teixeira. And you can see that Suarez has actually come up a bit, almost to the grass, to guard against the bunt. But if he gets it anywhere near the third baseline, they're not going to get him.
This will be the 100th pitch for Porcello. Grounded, and a diving stop by Cabrera. Fires the second one on to first. It's a double play. 3-6-3.
Second double play that the Yankees have grounded into tonight. Cabrera, usually doesn't get much credit for his defensive ability because people look at his offensive numbers and say he's one of the best right-handed hitters ever, which is true, but he can play his position. Remember, he played third base before Prince Fielder went over to Texas.
And here's Mark Teixeira. Shift is on for Mark. And he skies one to the left side. Suarez a long run and runs it down. It would have been a fair ball as Teixeira makes the final out. But the Yankee offense has been that man. Jacoby Ellsbury in the 5th inning, a long home run, his 12th of the year. And here in the 8th, his 13th home run, both solo shots, and the Yankees trail 5-2. game wrap-up. We'll have a breakdown of tonight's action, plus news and more from the clubhouse. The Verizon Fios game wrap-up tonight on My 9, followed by Chasing New Jersey. As we move along here in the bottom of the 8th inning, it's time for the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by Nissan. Get to Nissan's bottom line event today for bonus cash on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Crowd of 40,488 here at Comerica. That is a sellout. Esmail Rogers on in relief of Brandon McCarthy.
Yeah.
And he throws up and in to J.D. Martinez, who was 3 for 3 against McCarthy. Crowd does not like it.
One that got away. Almost hit the bat. J.D. Martinez from the ground appeared to stare out at the mound.
The 1-0. Grounded foul, 1-1.
Now here it is. Now watch. It's probably.
Was that because I'm 3 for 3? That's what that looks at.
You know what he's thinking? Give me something that I can actually hit. He's not going to take one of those Z swings. Going to make a top of the line pass at a fastball if it comes in there.
The 2-1.
He might come out of his shoes if this pitch is near the strike zone.
Rogers deals the 3-1. High fly ball. Deep center. Plenty of room out there. Ellsbury tracks it down for the first out.
He did have a good swing and gave it a ride. But that's the wrong part of the ballpark if you're thinking home run.
And that's going to bring up Nick Castellanos. One for 2, RBI single and a walk. And there's a strike. This is after he walked by Rogers. Kind of a nod.
Hitters have long memories, believe me.
Count 1-2 on Castellanos. And the pitch. He could not hold up. He goes down on strikes. 2 outs. If you look ahead to the 9th inning for the Yankees, it'll be Beltran, Prado, and Drew.
It might have been the best breaking ball that Rogers has thrown. Pick up the strikeout. That's plenty of tumble to it. In fact, out of the zone. Yankee offense, which was so diversified in last night's game, has boiled down to Jacoby Ellsbury tonight. They did get some hits off of Rick Porcello, but twice following a single, he picked up a double play. And he's had 28 of them turned behind him this year. That's second in the major leagues, or maybe first now.
The 1-0. 1-1 to Avila. And the 1-1. 2-1.
Now, one thing that we should point out in these last two games, Joe Girardi hasn't had to use the bullpen very much. So it's still the bullpen's in good shape going into the last two games of this series. Last night it was David Huff who did an excellent job following up Michael Pineda. Huff went 2 2/3, didn't give up a run, 2 hits. And tonight it looks like Ismael Rogers is going to finish off the game for Brandon McCarthy, although it might not turn out the way the Yankees would like. And I'll tell you, Michael, whenever we've seen Dylan Betances with a couple of days rest, he seems to throw several pitches, 99, 100.
He's rested, and now you're going to get 2 days off for Robertson, too. After
yeah, exactly.
Using him 3 in a row. And the 3-2. He could not hold up on the pitch up in the zone. And Rogers comes on and retires 5 in a row, a 1-2, 3/8. Can the Yankees rally in the ninth? They're down 5-2. Tigers. Rajay Davis moves from center to left. Ezekiel Carrera is now in center field. Don Kelly takes over for Castellanos at third base. And the new pitcher is Joe Nathan.
Veteran closer comes in. This will be his 51st appearance of the year. And right away, something that tells you he's not having the best year out of the bullpen. That ERA of over 5.36. And he has blown 6 saves along the way this year.
Well, there's some thought that by Sunday, when you have to be on the roster at the end of this month in order to get on the postseason roster, that Dave Dombrowski will make a trade for another closer. There's thought that they might be willing to take on Jonathan Papelbon, who's having a decent year but has an onerous contract for the Phillies. But we'll see how Nathan does here. Joaquin Soria is on the DL. He has soreness in his left oblique. He went on the DL August 10th. So he's been on for a while. And Beltran thinking about bunting with the shift on. The whole left side of the infield's open. It's good to think that the Yankees are at least considering it. McCann did, and now Beltran did. When you're down by 3, you need base runners.
You know, I can see this becoming a trend, Michael, where hitters, they got to work on it. Bunting's become somewhat of a lost art, but maybe you'll see in spring training hitters just working on it, trying to work their way on base.
Well, a fastball by him upstairs, so Beltran down for the first out.
Got him to chase a pitch out of the strike zone. Couldn't get on top of that, but Joe Nathan picks up a strikeout. Nathan, during the course of this year, we mentioned his struggles somewhat. These Tiger fans have got on him in the past.
Well, here's Prado. He's had a quiet night. He's 0 for 3. And there's a strike. Count 1-1. Ground ball to short, backhanded by Suarez. The long throw, it's in the dirt. And another nice scoop by Miguel Cabrera, who's flashing some leather. Well, after the final pitch, stay tuned for the Verizon Fios wrap-up. We'll have a breakdown of tonight's action, plus news and more from the clubhouse. The Verizon Fios game wrap-up tonight on My 9, followed by Chasing New Jersey.
On that play, Suarez actually had a misstep, and I think that's why he threw the ball in the dirt. Now watch as he delivers the throw to first. He twisted his ankle. And that's why the throw was in the dirt. You're going to get in the, watch his right foot. You can see it here. A misstep, but fortunately for him, the throw was on line. That had to hurt a bit.
Here's Stephen Drew. Count 1-0. Drew tonight 0 for 3. Yankee offense 8 runs yesterday, has stalled this evening against Rick Porcello. Only Jacoby Ellsbury was able to put anything on the board with 2 solo home runs. 2-0. Grounded right side. Diving stop there by Cabrera. Flips to Nathan. And that will do it as the Yankees' 5-game winning streak comes to an end here in Motown. So Nathan works a 1-2-3 ninth inning. And the Tigers win this game by a score of 5-2. Rick Porcello now tied with Max Scherzer, his teammate, for 15 wins, sitting atop the American League. We've got some awards to give out, so you stay right where you are. We're not finished even close to it here on My Nine. Again, the Yankees snapped their 5-game winning streak. They lose this one 5-2. 2 more to go here in Detroit, but come on back for the awards.